Hey guys, it's Matt here once again, and yes, I have dog shit quality videos, but we'll try rendering something else after trying some stuff and see if it works out any better this time. So let's just figure it out, one video at a time, I suppose. I digress. This is the follow-up to the Forbidden Rite Poison Pathfinder, and it ended up taking on most content pretty cleanly. Like, it isn't the best thing out there, but it's far from the worst, and it's just another good use of Forbidden Rite. I don't exactly remember how it compared to my previous poison attempt, but it does, at this stage, have something like 30 million DPS, and 5k life, and good enough tankiness and recovery to cleanly go through most of the game pretty comfortably. It maps very nicely. It did Simulacrum up to, like, I don't know, 26 or 27. I don't think it's ever going to be terrific for Simulacrum, this type of a setup, but I do think Forbidden Rite can indeed be a very good setup for Simulacrum. Basically being carried, as you could see maybe just a little bit earlier, through life gain on hit, Watcher's Eye, with those extra ball lightnings and blazing salvos. When you're attacking a lot, when you're getting hit a lot, it is just shitting out a lot of projectiles that give you the life gain on hit, and as such, recovery is pretty damn good. I did at this stage go for the Pathfinder life flask thing. I don't have an amazing life flask for this sort of situation, but it does help a bit, and it is a good panic button, but for the most part it just helps sustain a good bit. So this is a Forbidden Rite without any life recoup or regen, compared to, I think, previous ones I did quite a lot of both, but still life gain on hit is the key sort of piece to this puzzle that makes it work well. Realistically, if you didn't do Utulas, you could get life gain on hit on rings and double your recovery as well. That would be pretty damn good, but otherwise within Utulas you can't do life gain on hit rings. And then the CI variant would probably have a bit less DPS, but maybe a bit more survivability overall, and you would use an energy shield on hit discipline Watcher's Eye. I didn't do a full POB for that, for the CI sort of thing, but just having a quick look at it, I think you'll probably end up something like 6 or 7k ES, and yeah, a bit less DPS, but maybe it overall feels better. The one issue that you will have, though, I'm not sure the cast when damage taken will be working, since you're not taking any real damage with the Forbidden Rite at that point, since you're immune to chaos. So yeah, the life variants do have that huge extra bonus where you can do cast when damage takens basically on demand. You can even fix mana with some damage taken as mana sort of recoup style thing, but I'm doing Eldritch Battery on this one, so we don't need to do that. So this is a Cortex with 130% more life, and that definitely makes things a bit thicker. I did a Cortex, Uber Cortex, without life mods, and we blazed through it pretty damn quick. This one does have a bunch of life, but with our recovery, it's pretty damn good. And as long as you're not getting one-shot by anything, then the recovery does make it so you can kind of get through most situations, as long as there's something to attack for the most part. So a lot of these Uber fights were a bit more difficult, since it's only like one thing you can attack and you're otherwise getting hit by a lot of things. This is a Uber Shaper Maven, and it just gets ridiculous with the amount of Shapers and stuff that you got to deal with. But the playstyle is not too bad with Forbidden Rite, given that you can be ranged at a moment's notice, but being a bit more up close is usually just easier to get your overlaps happening. But yeah, I would not call this a huge Uber bosser. It's just very much doable. It's more of a real nice mapper, especially with the caster channel setup on the Sara Shards. It's definitely a weaker setup than your main setup, but it is good enough to AoE clear on lots of different types of maps, just not the thickest of the thick maps. And I did also try a caster channel setup with just a Cane of Cooler Mark with some bigger damage, not a Sara Shards, and yeah, the Sara Shards really does add a good flavor of AoE to the setup that makes sense. If you're not going to do a caster channel setup with a Sara Shards, that is, then you may as well just self-cast, because self-cast plus the prolif is more than enough for really strong map clear, but the Sara Shards itself just lends itself to a smoother playstyle on AoE map clear, and yeah, I kept doing it and kept doing the weapon swap tech. So we were pretty good at Sanctum, we were pretty good at all these individual fights and Feared and all that sort of shit. And the Uber boss is decent enough against it as well, but not the best, I wouldn't say. So yeah, it all went rather well. Did a few Uber Siriuses as well, actually. I don't have any footage of that because that was from the day before and I didn't rip that VOD and forgot I even did them, to be honest. But yeah, did a bunch of Uber Siriuses and it's pretty smooth against that too. Unfortunately, Uber Sirius does like have a bunch of phases where he like basically wipes your poisons off, so poison builds aren't ever the best for Uber Sirius, but our defensive structure was pretty good against that fight. And then you've also got to be careful on the Feared to not curse yourself with Despair against its Eerie, like I did, because that means that you will take a lot more damage unless you have really overcapped Chaos Res. So that's about it. I'll probably just leave you guys with the Uber Elder Maven and see how this fight progresses. Definitely a few deaths because it's a very messy fight, but did our best to live, and you can see the character's playstyle and the kind of speed we have while running around on this pretty fun, well enough built character. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time. Love to drop this ball somewhere. I think I'm dead. Dude, this is kind of fucked. Having to be in the circle while 4 shapers are going off is just fucking absurd. I hate you, man! So because Elder gets cloned, that means that he'll spawn an extra tentacle boy. It seemed like he spawned an extra tentacle boy. We're terroring at the start of this attack every time. I needed to just swoop under, but I instead swooped at the top. Uber Elder is a clusterfuck, but it's a manageable clusterfuck. Uber Elder plus Maven is usually an unmanageable clusterfuck. Unless you're like capable of face tanking most mechanics. Yeah, it's too much of a mess. Really? Did Shaper just ball me immediately? As soon as I went on top of him? Because that's dumb. Either that or I stepped into the Elder AoE. has to be dead, right? All right. I mean, that was messy, but fine. Oh my god. One of the dumbest fights in the game, and this is my reward. It's fine. You know why it's fine? So we go again, and it's gonna be a bigger piece of loot.